everyone, welcome to Zylostar, new weekly market update with us, with Mr. Amidian and Mr. Salman.
Financial markets are finding a little bit of stability, and that's due to the holiday season coming up. And we'll expect some very small movements in the markets till probably mid-January.
The first step, Donald Trump put 25% tariff on all imports from Canada and Mexico.
All right, so let's kick right into it. Starting with the dollar index. As we can see, the dollar index has retraced this trend line, the downtrend line of this ascending channel, touching the support exactly as we anticipated the previous week. And now we can expect the dollar index to continue its up momentum from here, retracing to the upside and continue this uptrend. Now, going to NASDAQ. Now, as we also anticipated some movement to the upside with NASDAQ last week. However, it didn't break above the trend line here, right? And but it did some up movement, still consolidating. Didn't break below this trend line of the ascending triangle that is formed and still forming, as we can see on the chart. So it is taken up from support, and we expect a further upper movement. Now, keep in mind that fundamental things like the taxes that are about to be placed on certain countries by the US might have an impact. Actually, it will have an impact on indices overall. Not sure how long will it take to affect. So take your position very cautiously if you're looking to long NASDAQ from here, especially that if you're longing from here, you're about the most premium. You're going long from a premium price, so we have to keep that in mind. Now, going to Bitcoin. Yes, Bitcoin has retraced the 91,000 level and went back up. Now it's consolidating after breaking this trend line of the bullish run. Now from here we might, if we have this trend line or a little bit of bullish momentum on a lower time frame. Now if the trend breaks below it, we might see some break, retest, and then another retest level of 91,000, keeping Bitcoin in consolidating in this area. Now this is what we were expecting. However, markets now, because of the holiday seasons, may not be very active. Yet we might see some geopolitical tensions going in and causing some volatility.
Hello again, welcome to the Zylostar Trading View, and let's take outlook regarding the EURUSD and the gold market analysis from Zylostar for sure. Let's take a gold in 4-hour time frame chart. What we said before, we said that the gold will reverse in our trend line, and actually he reversed, and analyst was 100% correct. So now what we are expecting, since we have here like he make this higher high, okay, and here he's making higher low, so what we can expect him to come again to our trend line, like around price of 2,519, 2,560. So, and from this point he will jump to our upper trend again in this reversed from lower channel to up channel in this uptrend channel for sure. It may consolidate at current level actually, then he will jump to the upside. Regarding the Euro USD, guys, what we are expecting in Euro USD, as we said before, what we are expecting, we was expecting the market to break this small trend line, go into the major trend line, like with the momentum, downtrend momentum. So now he makes some retracement, and I think they are thinking that he will like manipulate here and will like do some downtrend momentum with the consolidation from here going to our major trend line. So EURUSD is trying to reverse downtrend momentum by breaking our like trend line. This is the analysis and this is the outlook for the Euro USD. See you guys next week.
Hello everyone, hope you are doing well. This is Masud Amidian. I'm a senior fundamental analyst at Zylostar. And by the way, we are going to review the most vital side of the financial market, which is fundamental. First and foremost, let's have a look at the last week, which already passed. Last week, it was not very volatile. Last week, we got the monetary policy statement and also press conference of Reserve Bank of New Zealand, or better to say Kiwiland. They decided to cut the official cash rate by 0.5%. Here we have a brief summary of the statement. Or the chairman has stated that they are likely to have another 50 basis point cut in February, and there was no plan for 25 or 75 basis point cut, and eventually he had not discussed a 75 basis point cut. At the beginning, when the statement published, NZD-USD pumped. About the US, Trump names billionaire Scott Bessent as Treasury Secretary pick, and it increased a positive atmosphere from the Treasury side on the stock market. Also, we got the minutes of the latest FOMC meeting, and some participants said it might be appropriate in the future to consider resetting the overnight reserve repo rate to the bottom of the Fed funds target range. A staff forecast called for economic condition to remain solid, as in previous assessment. 2024 GDP growth projection is seen as higher. So after that, US short-term interest rate futures paired earlier loses after release of November FOMC minutes. Also, PCE and second estimate of the third quarter of 2024 also released. Let's review in order. About the PCE, it was like to the forecast. In October, the PCE price index rose 0.2%, with goods prices down 0.1% and services up 0.4%, and 0.3% increase excluding food and energy. Personal income increased $147 billion, or better to say 0.6% under monthly rate. In October, disposable personal income, or better to say DPI, personal income less personal current taxes, increased $144 billion, or better to say 0.7%. And finally, the personal consumption expenditures, or PC, increased $72.3 billion. Let's dive into the GDP. About the GDP, real gross domestic product, or let's say GDP, increased at annual rate of 2.8% in the third quarter of 2024. In the advanced estimate, the increase in real GDP was also 2.8%. The update primarily reflected upward revision to private inventory investment and non-residential fixed investment, as well as downward revision to exports and consumer spending. So last week also we had a speech from Kashkari, and he mentioned that he believes there are logical reasons for a 25 basis point cut for December rate cut. From the geopolitical side, we got the final ceasefire between Israel and Lebanon, so it returned sustainability again to the global markets. So let's review the upcoming week. I want to start it again with the economic indicator. So on 2nd of December, on Monday, as you know, we are gonna enjoy our holiday in UAE National Day. And by the way, sometimes it's good to look at the market and monitor it. So on 2nd of December, we are gonna have ISM manufacturing PMI numbers for the US at 7 p.m. to UAE time. And later on Tuesday, which is 3rd of December, we are gonna have the CPI number for Frank at 11:30 a.m. And at 7 p.m. we are gonna have JOLTS, or better to say job openings number for the US, and I think it's gonna play a very important role for that day. So after that, we are gonna have the GDP number for Australian dollar at 4:30 a.m. on 4th of December. And later at 1 p.m. we are gonna have Bank of England Billy speech, or better to say Bank of England chairman speech at 1 p.m. as I mentioned. And later we are gonna have the ADP number, which is related to private sector non-farm employment change at 5:15 p.m. to UAE time. And later 7 p.m. we are going to have ISM services for the PMI, and also at 10:45 we are going to have the most important speech of the next week, which is Fed Chairman Powell at 10:45 as mentioned. And on 5th of December we are going to have unemployment claims or initial jobless claims, which is one of the most leading indicator in the employment sector, at 5:30 p.m. And eventually for the economic indicators we are going to have employment change and unemployment rate for the Canadian dollar at 5:30 p.m. on 6th of December, which is Friday, or let's say next Friday. And at the same time we are going to have the NFP, or better to say non-farm employment change for the US dollar. Do not forget, next week the main focus is in the employment sector of the United States. About the corporate earning, next week is not going to be crowded. We are going to receive the Scotia Bank, TD Bank, Royal Bank, and other companies like BMO earnings next week. So do not forget, the main focus, as I mentioned, for the next week is on the employment sector in the United States.
Thank you guys for watching us. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment.